Hey, Grave here. Another bit in my opinion series. I'll probably actually rant in this more than talk about the opinion, but I often just think about a lot of the most popular supposed preachers, the ones you always see on TV. Those that teach, basically just have motivational speeches and don't actually teach anything or do things for sensation that don't actually get to any real matter or do anything in reality. Those that do things for social acclaim and popularity as opposed to actually trying to help people and seek to do better. There's a general disconnect that grows more and more between how Christians today act and are supposed to act or supposed to be, and everyone has their own opinion about what a Christian is supposed to be like. Uh, Depending on where you fall politically, you've got some uh, claim or whatever about how Christians are supposed to be. Problem is, if you're coming at specifically for a political angle, you're wrong. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you're every political side, you're wrong because the Bible is not. It's not made to be political. It was never written to be political. It was never taught politically. It it's a spiritual guidance. It's people let politics get in the way of everything else. People let their own desires and their own obsession get in the way of everything else. Everyone's going to view something through a lens. And there's a quote from Gandhi: "I like your Christ. I do not like your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ." Now, say what you want about him, but that point hits true for a lot of congregations, I guess, people that want to talk about one thing or another, or people that just want to claim the title of a Christian, claim it socially, but not give anything up, not surrender anything. They take part in the world and they don't see things that they have as that they struggle with. They just see it as a part of what they are. They don't see things in this flawed world as things that they are struggling with and that have to give up or even move away from or cut off. People dedicate themselves to one thing or another specifically because that's what they want to get their identity from. Biblical Christianity is unpopular. Popular Christianity is unbiblical. And the Western world has kind of shifted to the idea that anything can be your identity except the Bible, except Christianity. And then we neglect the fact that, hey, there are actually people that are Christian in the wider world that are suffering and under persecution for the fact that they claim the faith and are practicing the faith. Uh, Within China, basically all religion, aside from whatever the government wants, is illegal, and you can't even have an unedited version of the Bible in China. Within the Middle East, if you are an apostate of Islam and you convert to Christianity, you are to be executed according to their teaching. Many faiths that came up that tried to cling on to Christianity in some way take the nice things and then bastardize it with worldly lusts and desires. It gets more muddled the more you continue moving forward, and like insert whatever big name television radio preacher you want. They all bastardize the teachings for their own gain, for their own multi-million dollar facility, jets, etc. People like the spotlight because they want to feel important, and they want people want to preach the good news, the gospel. Problem is, a lot of people that quote unquote preach do so in ways that elevate themselves, that make it a motivational speech instead of an actual lesson. They don't do anything that is slightly controversial because church has become more of a business today than it has anything else. And it's not the same type of business as we see Christ flipping up the tables of, because at that point it was, well, during there it was quite explicitly the Gentile court where the Gentiles were allowed to worship was turned into a market. And that's when he started flipping up the tables and whipping people with cords. After the crucifixion, after his final sacrifice, and after all Christians were given the Holy Spirit, the Helper, they became a living temple, an example, a representative of God to others. To so much to the point where they would give things up. A big part throughout the ministry of Christ was that he would always tell people, "Drop everything and follow me." That was a part of how he conducted himself and how the disciples after the Great Commission conducted themselves. They gave up. They gave up comfort. They gave up things. They went out and taught and preached to so much to the point where most of them were executed in various ways. If the world hates us, it's because the world hated him before us. We are promised persecution for his namesake. We are promised that we'll not live a comfortable, a safe life because on earth it is against Christ. People want to claim that identity but not live it out. People want to claim that identity and tell people everything that's wrong in their lives without ever going and picking the log out of their own eye. They will say, "You've got this wrong. Here, let me help you fix it," without fixing the problems of their own life. Modern society, with all the glitz and glamour, has allowed excessive hypocrisy throughout all of us. Through all the glitz and glamour that we see and how everything can be kept anonymous to varying degrees, people are allowed to spew vitriol as much as they want. People today take pleasure and joy in watching other people suffer. Society has become a problem more so than before, and they only see Christianity as something that is oppressive when all they know is empty pleasure and freedom to do whatever they want. They choose the beautiful lie as opposed to giving something up, surrendering themselves. The idea of self-sacrifice has, for the most part, faded from them. They don't care, and that's a problem with society at large in general. We don't care enough to help others. We don't care enough to help each other. We don't care anymore. And a lot of that is just how numb everyone has become because of everything that we have access to. For all that we have developed and grown and gained, we have lost so much because we have stopped caring about each other. I don't need to live within the same town as a friend to talk with them. Phones exist in voice chat, text chat, whatever you want. Neighborhoods are quiet. Neighborhoods are broken and disconnected. Churches shutting down and being torn down for developments only further fractures neighborhoods. There is no shared culture in communities anymore. I hope that my little rant here either helps someone or you can take something from it, what have you. If you want to continue talking, throw something down in the comments. I don't know. Until next time, have a great day.